Good afternoon, everybody. Let's talk about the prophetic word again today. We're going to go to Judges chapter 20, and we're going to go from Judges chapter 20, verse 18 to 28. It's quite a bit to talk about, so if you have time, look at Judges 19 for the context of this story. A short example before we start, or an explanation of what's going on, is that there are 12 tribes of Israel. One of those tribes are Benjamin. And they just did a pretty awful thing with someone in Judges 19 into Judges chapter 20. And the rest of the nation wants to punish Benjamin as a result of what they did. So we begin in that context in verse 18. Then the children of Israel, Judges 20, verse 18, Then the children of Israel arose and went up to the house of God to inquire of God. They said, "Which of us shall go up first to battle against the children of Benjamin?" The Lord said, "Judah first." So the children of Israel rose in the morning and encamped against Gibeah. And the men of Israel went out to battle against Benjamin, and the men of Israel put themselves in battle array to fight against them at Gibeah. Then the children of Benjamin came out of Gibeah, and on that day cut down to the ground 22,000 men of the Israelites. So before we go on, there are two things that are guaranteed that we will not see victory in our lives. And those two things are, the first, self-preservation, which was happening right here, and self-pity. Self-preservation. If we are going into any spiritual place with the Lord and we think that we're being led by God to do God's will, and we're going into that place or into that battle in the name of the Lord because of self-preservation, to preserve something, because we've gained something in our lives, and we're doing this because we're afraid we're going to lose it. You're going to lose. You're never going to see victory as a believer when your main reason for fighting in the supernatural or a spiritual battle is self-preservation. That's what happened here. In verse 20, and the men of Israel went out to battle against Benjamin. Now, mind you, earlier in this chapter, Israel has 400,000 men, and Benjamin has roughly about 40,000. 400,000 to 40,000. One tribe has 40,000 men that can fight. Israel has 400,000 men that can fight. So in verse 20, it says, "And the men of Israel went out to battle against Benjamin, and the men of Israel put themselves in battle array to fight against them at Gibeah. Then the children of Benjamin came out to Gibeah, and on that day cut down to the ground 22,000 men of Israel." So they were defeated. When they asked the Lord, they said, "Which of us shall go up first to battle against the children of Israel?" In verse 18, the Lord said, "Judah first." Self-preservation. They weren't asking God for permission to battle. They were asking, who's going to go first? It's like, who's going to be put in front of us? It's like to preserve something about ourselves. We put other people, other circumstances in our lives in front of us to preserve something, and caught a spiritual battle, and we wonder why we lose. That's the reason. Self-preservation never wins battles. That's not the reason why we fight. Let's go on. In verse 23, it says, "Then the children of Israel went up and wept before the Lord until evening, and asked the counsel of the Lord, saying, Shall I again draw near for battle against the children of my brother Benjamin? And the Lord said, Go up again against them. So the children of Israel approached the children of Benjamin on the second day. And Benjamin went out from Gibeah on the second day, and cut down to the ground 18,000 more of the children of Israel. All these drew the sword." So they had 22,000, and now it's 18,000. Then all the children of Israel, that is, all the people, went up and came to the house of God. Now, that's the second thing. The first thing is self-preservation. The first thing is self-preservation. The second thing is self-pity. So they went up to the Lord in verse 23. Then the children of Israel went up and wept before the Lord until evening, and asked counsel of the Lord, Shall I again draw near for battle against the children of my brother Benjamin? I believe it was self-pity. They were feeling sorry for themselves. They were wondering why they weren't winning, but they had so much pride still in them to continue in the battle. Even they did not accept the fact that they were there for self-preservation. So they asked the Lord again, why am I losing in this battle? And there's someone that's experiencing the same thing. You are doing something through self-preservation and have lost. And you're seeking God in the same way they're doing here by weeping to the Lord in self-pity. Please feel sorry for me. Please, nothing about forgiveness, nothing about a change in heart, nothing about a self-evaluation of where you're at when it comes to this battle, why you're doing it, why are you there, what's happening in that way. They weren't doing that. They were weeping to God all day long and asked, shall I again draw near for battle? And the Lord said in verse 23, go up again. Go up against them. So the children of Israel in verse 24 approached the children of Benjamin on the second day. And the Benjamin went out again against them with from Gibeah on the second day, and cut down to the ground 18,000 more of the children of Israel. All these drew the sword. In verse 26, then all the children of Israel, that is, all the people, went up and came to the house of God. So self-preservation doesn't work. Self-pity doesn't work. So guess what works? Actually denying yourself, not battling for you. We fight on behalf of others. If it's a battle, a real battle in the Lord, it's always going to benefit someone else. It's never for self-preservation or self-pity. It's never just mainly for self. That's the whole message. We lose every time. So look what they did when they realized what they were doing wrong. In verse 26, then all the children of Israel, that is, all the people, went up and came to the house of God and wept. They wept before. Let's see what else they did. They sat before the Lord and fasted that day until evening, and they offered burnt offerings and peace offerings before the Lord. So the children of Israel inquired of the Lord. The ark of the covenant of God was there in those days, and Phinehas the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron, stood before it in those days, saying, shall I yet again go out to battle against the children of my brother Benjamin, or shall I cease? Now he's asking, Lord, is it okay for me to do this? He wasn't doing that before. And the Lord said, go up, for tomorrow I will deliver them into your hand. This is the first time God said that in this battle. Go up. Before he says go up. First, take Judah first. Since you're in a self-preservating preservation mood, put Judah in the front. And then the second time, go up. You have wept all day. You're feeling sorry for yourself, and you're going to lose again. But this time, because they denied themselves and asked God to forgive them of their sin, they saw victory. And that's when we see victory with God. And that's how He gives us victory in our own lives. We will never, ever see victory as a believer when it's about preserving something we don't want to let go of, or we're focused on ourselves. We're preserving something, self-preservation or self-pity. That's why they saw the defeat, and that's why we see defeat. When we realize that it's not about us and we deny ourselves and say, God, what do you want to do in this battle? What position I play? What role do I play? And then first, before we go into this battle, forgive me for any wrongdoing or any direction. I want to make sure I go in the direction that you want me to go. Then we see victory. God bless you. Have a great day.